something you must read. Hindutva Principles for Globalization by Bruce Rich. And now Bush, when he was president, his last act before going out was to declare that any college which teaches Sanskrit will be given a special federal grant. Why? Because for 20 years NASA was doing research in the most advanced area of computer sciences, which is called artificial intelligence. In simplified terms, artificial intelligence is the storing of knowledge. All of us acquire knowledge in our life and then die, and knowledge dies with it. So after retirement and before death, you sit before a computer and start explaining what you have learned, and then the computer collates it and organizes it, and you get that knowledge bank. This is one of the most advanced stages of the use of computers for knowledge. And NASA was researching on it. They had only one problem: which language should we store knowledge? Because English, the phonetics is all funny. P-U-T put and B-U-T but. So it was not okay. And other languages, the script was not clear. So they thought of inventing a new language. At the end, Richard Briggs, the prominent scientist, artificial intelligence scientist of NASA, wrote an article which you can download by going to Google and writing NASA on Sanskrit. Just put that in, and that article will come. In the Journal of Artificial Intelligence, he says, for 20 years we have wasted looking for to invent a new language. Not necessary. Devanagari script and Sanskrit language are perfect for computer sciences, for storing of knowledge. Therefore, we should learn. And all of us should learn Sanskrit. If I took a Tamil dictionary produced by the Dravidians, or so-called Dravidian scholars, Dravidian movement scholars, I should say, of Madras University, and started counting all the words which are common to Sanskrit. Because here also I had a quarrel with Mr. Karnanji. I told him that according to the dictionary, 40% of the words in your Dravidian dictionary is Sanskrit. I said, even your name Karnanidhi is Sanskrit. And your election symbol is called Udayan Suryan. That's also Sanskrit. Udaya Surya. Is Udayan Suryan in town. Even the symbol is the word is Chinnam. It is Chin in Sanskrit. So I told him there is Sanskrit. He said, Sanskrit thrift paniti there. I said, it doesn't matter. The words are common. So in all our languages there is a heavy proportion of Sanskrit words, or words in common with Sanskrit. Malayalam may be 80%, Bengali 90%, Gujarati 75%, Kannada 65%, Devanagari. From Brahmi it became Devanagari. And therefore I would say we should all be compelled to learn two scripts. One, our original Tamil script, and the other is Devanagari. In 5 minutes you can learn. And then you will find Gujarati is very similar, Punjabi is very similar, Gurmukhi. All of them are the same principles. Even Kannada and Telugu, which are somewhat different looking scripts, but the principles are the same. From ki to ku and pa, all the principles are the same. So we now have to look for uniting our country. Days of dividing this country is over. Hindus, Muslims, Christians, we are all one DNA. Our ancestors are all Hindus. There is no reason. The only difference between Hindu religion and all the other religions is we formally, explicitly accept all religions lead to God. Christianity and Islam does not agree. Judaism has started to believe it. But the rational American, who is now becoming Hindu, and therefore the Newsweek wrote a big editorial page article. Now we are all Hindus. It says that the rational American does not believe that we are the only religion. All religions will lead to God. We Hindus don't say all religions are equal. We only say all religions lead to God. All roads may lead to Chennai, but one may be through Dindigul, which may be full of potholes. The other may be on the national super highway. So ours is the national super highway to God. And the second distinctiveness about Hinduism is that we believe you can see God in this life. All others believe you can see God only after you're dead. And third is the law of karma. And the fourth is the law of incarnation. These four things distinguish us from others. But we don't have a pope, we don't have a church, we don't have a book. That's why the Newsweek article says that the Americans like the Hindu approach to religion because it's a cafeteria approach. You go to the cafeteria, pick up which dish you want. The same way you go to a Hindu to a library, you can pick up Vedas if you like, Upanishads if you like, Aranyakas, Brahmanas. You have a choice. Believe in Krishna, Rama, Shiva, Vishnu. You have plenty of choice. How you want to approach it. So this is why there is democracy in India. And there is no democracy in Pakistan, or in the Middle East, or many other countries, which have the same background. India and Pakistan have had the same background. The same British ruled us over for 200 years. But we have democracy and they don't. The reason is this religious basis, that all religions lead to God. All depends on your karma, how your karma is accumulated, what we call as karma calculus. All these are modern concepts, but they have to be presented in a modern way now. And therefore the first thing all Hindus must think, and I would say Muslims and Christians, if they want to be part of the family, they should also accept what is the truth, namely that they are descended from Hindus. Somewhere because of various reasons they will be converted. And Dara Shikoh, if he had become the Mughal emperor, the whole history of India would have changed. And that is why special permission and punishment was meted out by Aurangzeb to him. He ensured that the cruelest punishment is given to him, because he dared to translate Upanishads into Persian. And that was considered blasphemy. We don't have a concept of blasphemy. So this is why I was invited to give this lecture. And I said, if you start inviting me like this, tomorrow I will also become a Swami. I may be only in the name Swami. So therefore, today, why I agreed to write a forward and come especially for the inauguration. I must say he was very patient, Professor Subramanian. I couldn't agree earlier, there were elections, this, that. I thought, he said, you choose a date, we'll have it on that date. I go every year to teach for 6 weeks at Harvard, one semester. And so I am going on 22nd to Harvard to teach economics, nothing to do with religion there. I have to teach economics. I'm considered a world authority on China. And Harvard is the one where I got my education. So they are very keen I should come. I taught there before, so they are more keen that I should continue my association. So I go for one semester. It's a good time to go because North India is all raining monsoon and no political activity can take place, only telephone calls take place. That I can do from America also. So my absence will not be missed. Courts are on vacation, so no problem on Tuesday. So this brings me to my last point. People ask me, why there is so much corruption? And here Hindutva or Sanatana Dharma has an answer, which no other religion has. Corruption comes when your life is geared to material wealth only. And in the process that degenerates into greed. And greed then degenerates into corruption. Get money by any means, but get money. I had been to one of the business schools. I asked the students, why did you select the MBA course? And the answer they gave is the best salary is available in MBA. 20 years ago, they would have said best salary in engineering. Earlier on, best salary in English because you can do competitive exam and become ICS. The choice of subjects which have become favorite has changed, but only on one basis: where you can get more money. This was not Sanatana Dharma. As I told you, learning is an end in itself, and in that process you should not be crazy about money. Money is necessary, but it cannot be the sole determinant of your social status. This greed is responsible for corruption. And this greed is now spreading because of globalization, spreading all over the world. So today, if we want to reduce corruption over a long period, short period, of course we'll catch people. And I can tell you that on 2G, no one is going to escape. There are at least 4 or 5 more ministers to go to jail. And they are saying nowadays you get masala dosa at TR. So many Tamilians there. Then they better start preparing for pizza also, because one Italian is too soon from there. So, those things are prosecution. But we want to kill it at the root. The root is when your social philosophy does not place money at the top of the list. Yes, you need some amount of money for a comfortable living, but don't make money an end in itself. Pursuit of knowledge. That should be it. Colleges like this are temples of learning, and you learn more and more, explore more and more. I would say those who have money should go on giving money to educational institutions. India today is poised to become the most developed country provided we do one thing right. We are the youngest population in the world. Average age of an Indian is 29 years. Average age of a Chinese is 37. Average age of an American is 40. Average age of a Japanese is 48. It's an aging population for them. For us, it's a young population. This young population should be properly motivated, educated, and those who have money should spend it on education and make our places, our educational institutions, as places of excellence instead of struggling for money. That is the way to become the greatest country in the world, because innovation is everything. India was not only Hinduism. India invented the calculus, India invented the zero, invented science. In fact, books on rocketry today openly acknowledge that when the British came here and Tipu Sultan led the army in Coromandel Coast, he used rockets. And they stole one rocket and took it back to England and then did reverse engineering and produced rockets themselves. So we were ahead not only in philosophy, but we were ahead in every branch. But because we were not in a position to fight according to the new warfare terms, therefore lost. Today we have no physical war coming, but we have a mental war which we have to fight. Just because you are a billion people, don't think that people cannot conquer us. There are 1,000 goats standing on one side and one tiger comes. The goats are in majority, but it is the goats who will run away, not the tiger, because of the mind. Similarly, strength is not enough. In a circus, there will be 5 lions, one thin ringmaster, and he will be inside the cage. Each lion is big enough with his paw to give him a smack and he will be killed. But he will order them, climb up and crack the whip, and they will all climb up. Because of the mind. Your mind is brainwashed, you have no future. Today we are being subject to that. that everything west is good, everything east is bad, or any of past tradition is bad, it's communal, it's this, it's that. So I would say liberate your mind, use research and knowledge to learn newer and newer things, new perspectives, challenge old ideas, challenge this concept of Aryan Dravidian. Dravidianism is dead now. It has died with 2G. It will not come up. Now nationalism must come up. Tamil Nadu is not only for Tamilians, but Tamil Nadu is for the whole of India. Tamilians must not only rule in Tamil Nadu, but they must rule in Delhi, not become servants in Delhi, clerks in Delhi. So that new mentality for Tamilians necessary to develop, that can only come by understanding of philosophy. And therefore I congratulate Professor Subramanian for producing a very readable book. I suggest you start with chapter 29 and then work yourself on both sides and acquire this kind of knowledge in addition to your cognitive knowledge of physics and chemistry and mathematics. Also acquire a philosophy of life for which we have given to the world, and the world is quietly learning from us. We have to learn from our past. That's the most important lesson. Thank you very much.
Dr. Subramanian Swamy, respected President of the Madura College Board, Sri M. Ramanathan, respected Secretary of Madura College Board, Sri M. S. Meenakshundra, respected Treasurer of Madura College Board, Sri S. Nadan Gopal, distinguished directors and members of the Madura College Board, Revered Dr. R. Venkatraman, former professor of Madurai College University, my beloved teachers of this institution, other distinguished academicians, scholars, media people, our colleague Mr. R. Subramani, the author of the book that is released today, my dear colleagues and students. Today I am very happy to have the opportunity to felicitate Mr. Subramani on this occasion, who is releasing his second work of fiction, Paramahamsa A Vedantic Tale. Due to the perseverance of our colleague, Mr. R. Subramani, we are fortunate enough to have the erudite scholar, Dr. Subramanian Swamy, in our institution amidst his busy schedule. I wish to recall that on 12th January 2004, Dr. Swamy delivered a special lecture on impact of globalization on Indian society under the UGC-sponsored guest lecture program by the Department of Sociology of our college. I learned that our colleague, Mr. Subramani's first publication was a book of short stories. I wish to add that one of our former colleagues in the Department of English, Mr. R. Bharat Kumar Verma, published 4 volumes of his poems a few years back. I am particularly happy to note that the book Paramahamsa is a creative work writing that Mr. Subramanian publishes and not mere the academic kind of publication. To be frank, I have managed so far only to browse through the book and I have not read it in full. But from what I have read, I learned that Mr. Subramanian has embarked on an ambitious quest of philosophical understanding of life mysteries and also the mystical experiences that go with such philosophical understanding, that it goes beyond the sphere of mere intellectual speculation. Though the story seems to deal copiously with a great sage who becomes the guru of a humble speaker after truth, it is the humble speaker who seems to be at the center of the novel. He happens to be not a recluse, but a grahastha who seeks understanding of life mysteries. That is, I suppose, an encouragement to the majority of people who happen to be the seekers without being recluses. Mr. Subramanian's effort testifies to his extensive exploration and intimate assimilation of the knowledge of India's time-honored philosophical systems and his familiarity with the ancient languages of Hindu religion and philosophy. I can appreciate how difficult it should have been for him to put into everyday language and everyday experience the ideas and experiences enshrined in the books of philosophy. It requires great imaginative and intellectual effort, and you must remember that he has written the book in English, which makes it imperative that he has a formidable mastery over the language also. He has not shied away from the responsibility of such an effort. I congratulate Mr. Subramanian on his achievement in contributing the society for realization. To conclude, I would like to say that it is not an exaggeration, but it is a truth for us who are muddled up in the modern materialistic world. Reading Paramahamsa is like having a dip in the holy Ganges to cleanse ourselves. Understand that he has at present engaged on his third work, which is likely to be more secular and society-oriented work. I wish him very good luck and success in his endeavors. Thank you to all.
Learned audience, I have only one point to share. Much in concurrence with what Dr. Subramanian Swamy suggested, this Aryan-Brahmin divide is artificial. As if blessed by the divinity, the publishers of the book have called themselves